Hey there, I know it's been a while. I just wanted to reach out as I'm back on my plateau. It's the beginning of June, summertime, to reach out in the form of videos. I know I've been available by email or one-on-one coaching and some group coaching. And for those of you that are new here, I'd like to take some time and introduce myself. And most of all, thank you for being a valued audience member and for liking, sharing, and subscribing. For those of you that don't know, my name's Veronica, but I go by Ronnie, and I'm the Healthy Life Coach. I'm here to empower others because there is life beyond trauma with support. In today's video, I'm going to focus on narcissistic abuse or abusive relationships and how narcissists recycle relationships. And basically what I mean by that, there's a thing called narcissistic supply. And when they get bored, they tend to go back to the ones that may respond to them, or they feel like, oh, it's been enough time and I can reconnect with this person. However, it's usually they don't want to deal with the issues that caused the breakup. So on that note, I'm going to jump right in. I have a few points, maybe like 10 points, so I'm going to jump right in so we can get to the nitty-gritty. And the first thing I want to start with is rebound. And that is just, okay, my current relationship hasn't worked out, it's been toxic, or they simply get bored. Narcissists get bored very easily. Again, it's all about self and self-gratification. So if that means sexually, or they run out of things that you're not praising them enough, or they just get bored and they surf the internet, or they do what's called recycling. Go back to those that they've been involved with. To them, it may be easier, and they come back with the love bombing, the charming, and so on. So you want to be mindful of that. If you're going to get involved again with a narcissist, and you know that they are narcissists and it's been a toxic relationship, if there's no true sign of change, just know that you're just either a rebound person or a recycle until they move on to their next fix. And you will be left holding the bag of hurt and broken heart. So you got to protect your heart at all costs. And most importantly, if you still have unresolved issues or you can't come to an agreement, again, that is, in my opinion, a red flag. So if they're not willing to communicate, address those unresolved issues, or even answer your questions without having those temper tantrums or that rage, or you're going back to the old you, and so on. It's okay to change you and change for the better, but your true core, don't allow someone to manipulate and change you to benefit them. And take your time. I'm not encouraging anyone to go back into a narcissistic relationship, or with a narcissist, or someone, and just, I was going to say, in someone that's not open to counseling. Unfortunately, a lot of narcissists will go to counseling, but that's only so they can learn how to better manipulate people. So with that, you just really have to take your time and follow your instincts when it comes to dealing with the narcissist. I know many times there's time, and there may be even kids and so on involved. Follow your instinct. It's better to, if you feel that it's not going anywhere, or you feel like you're going to be hurt again, and you can't have those open conversations, you can't have your questions answered, or your concerns addressed, it's better many times to cut your losses, let your heart break for the moment, but focus on healing. And as far as going back to a narcissist, be mindful of the flying monkeys. And those are the people that the narcissist will manipulate. They will often have them reach out to you to get information on what you're doing in your life, or they're either a mutual friend or acquaintance, and they're reaching out, oh, have you heard from so-and-so? Oh, I ran into so-and-so. Or even worse, they could be an ex, but they come off like, oh, well, I was abused and I went through this and that. How did you survive? I want to be a friend. At the same time, they're still either being manipulated, or they're thinking they can manipulate a narcissist, or they're thinking that, oh, I'm better than this. I'm going to get pointers from her, and I'm going to be better than this. Again, be mindful of that. And on that note, be careful of how you vent your concerns or your losses or your hurts, because those flying monkeys are monitoring your social media as well. And some of the flying monkeys are just as toxic as the narcissist. They are friends, they are on team narcissists, but will reach out to you and act as if they're not in communication with the narcissist, but are taking information back to the narcissist. And it just becomes a big ball of, I'll say, wax. My other, concern I want to address is, if they're coming back, don't be afraid to ask, well, what was it about before that didn't work? Why are you truly attracted to me? Is it because they're down on their luck? Is it because that previous relationship didn't work out and they're left maybe even homeless, penniless, physically hurt? Be mindful. Ask them, okay, well, why didn't we work before? What is it about now that you're willing to work this so-called, I wouldn't say so-called, but this relationship, or you're wanting to date me again, or however they may phrase it? You want to know what is, in your mind, you're asking, what is the true motive? Keep in mind, if you're open to dating, or dating anyone for that matter, when you're dating, you are actually looking for data. You're taking your time, especially in this day and age where there are many narcissists, there are many toxic people, and so many people are just out for themselves. They truly don't care about you. It's about what they can get, and whether that's, sexual gratification, if it's fine, and even if it's a meal that they can get out of you. They could care less that you have children, that, most women, we are very emotional. We are caregivers, we are nurturers, and many narcissists are attracted to that, and they learn how to manipulate your emotions, and especially if you're an empath. And unfortunately, I'm one of those. We take on other people's emotions, and we take on sometimes too much of their stress and strain, and they're not willing to work it out. And they know that you're this kind-hearted person, and you are empathetic, and they will manipulate that. Again, especially men. Men are easier to move right along. They could break up today, this hour. In the next hour, they're scrolling online, and they can you could see them the next day out already on a date that quickly. Where women, we may try to, act like we're hard, like men. Oh, it doesn't bother me, I don't care. No, we care, and it affects us differently. So be mindful of that. Protect your heart, protect your feelings, and create and maintain those boundaries. Don't give in to something that is truly not of you. It's not of, what you're made of, and what the different boundaries and so on that you've set forth for yourself. Don't allow someone to manipulate that, because in the end, you are the one that will end up hurt, and then you may go through the phase of depression and coming down hard on yourself, and like, why did I even do this? Believe me, we've all been there. So if you've been through that, just, be mindful of what you're doing. Take your time, move at your pace. Keep in mind that narcissists, they move fast, and usually after a breakup, they're quick to come with, the fast talk. Oh, well, I really love you. I saw that you were starting to date. That broke my heart. Yet they were still in a relationship with, whomever, And, that, oh, well, that was just for convenience. Okay, so your heart truly wasn't, well, what makes me different? What makes you really want to be into me? And many times they will come with the sex right away. And, it can be really gratifying. However, it's just, this is ways that they use to get over the previous supply. And, they may use that and still be, on the internet, or, going to dating sites, going to clubs, bars, and so on, still trying to look for that new exciting high, but using you to get over the previous. So try to avoid putting yourself in those situations. Be mindful. Don't allow someone to manipulate you, and move fast. Take things at your own pace. And another point I want to touch on, and that's trauma bonds. When you're dealing with these people and going back and forth, or there's been years and you're still, there's been many, that, oh, he's going to marry, oh, everything's always tomorrow, oh yeah, we'll work on getting married next year, oh, we'll work on, well, I'm going to get you that house if the time isn't right. Or if you're dealing with a more toxic situation, oh, I'm going to leave her or him. All you're doing is creating trauma bonds. And that is a bond where you're thinking, well, I hope this person's like me. They seem to be like me, and be truthful, and be a person of their word. Maybe I need to just bend a little and be more patient. No, what you're creating is a trauma bond. If someone is serious, they're coming ferociously for you. Not in a fast pace, but they're letting their intentions be known. They're transparent. Not that you want to go into a relationship or friendship, going through phones and so on. But if you ask, hey, do you mind if I take a look at your phone? And it's not an insecurity. You want to get that response. If you have nothing to hide, especially if they're fresh out of a relationship, I would avoid that at all costs. But if you're willing to entertain that, and, and listen to what they're saying, oh, yes, I'm fresh out of, but it was over a long time ago. Ask, okay, well, can I please look through your phone? If you get excuses, or you get the ones that, oh, I removed all the females or the males out of my phone, so you didn't even have to ask me. That means nothing, completely nothing, because just because a name is removed, that person still has their contact. That person still can, right, it may not show up their name, but these are the type of games that narcissists play. And again, they do not care anything about others. There are some that are willing to change, that are wanting to change their ways, but they are very far and few. So be mindful of these particular behaviors. And within the trauma bond, they'll be, oh, I apologize, I wasn't there for you, I wasn't there to support you, I wasn't there when you needed me. Keep in mind, the person that broke you, they can't fix you. Do they even have a desire to want to see you get healed? That's just like, someone, beating you up or shooting you, but you're gonna expect that person to drive you to the hospital. There are, in some situations, some very toxic situations, where maybe they will. But truly, this person that broke your heart, broke your spirit, broke you emotionally, do you truly expect them to truly care and want to fix you or see you healed? These are the questions you want to ask yourself, and you want to pause and meditate on this. And what does your gut feel and say? What does your heart say? And don't always just follow your heart. You want to be in sync. What does, your instincts say? What does your heart say? What does your mind say? You want to evaluate that. There's no need to rush. You have one life. You only owe something to yourself and God. Those are the only people you owe something to. And anyone that wants to rush you, you want to set some distance in between that person. As I speak on listening to those instincts, there are, questions that come to mind. Take time and meditate those. Sometimes if you have anxiety, that's a sign. That's like, whoa, proceed with caution. Slow down, danger, protect your heart. And then, when you're interacting with this person, if, they're, starting to show signs of leaving you confused, or you're always scratching your head, oh, what do they mean by that? And then, they just sent you a text or left you a voicemail, and then you call right back. Oh, all of a sudden they're sleeping, or I'm sleeping. I'll talk to you. I don't got time to talk about this right now. Those are red flags. It's a game. Narcissists love games. They like to feel that they are in control. They like to manipulate. So they do get a kick out of leaving you confused, having you question and doubt yourself. You don't want to be with someone that you want someone that encourages you and empowers you just as much as you want to be encouraging and empowering to others and being a blessing to others. And another, I did touch on, be mindful how you express your feelings. I suggest, if you want to just express your feelings openly, I suggest a journal. I suggest writing it down and keeping it in a private place. I do not suggest, in the heat of the moment, going out on social media or even going to family, friends on the telephone, because many times, people are people. So when you go and share something with someone, sometimes some people can't wait to hang up and say, oh, guess who called me? Oh, guess what? They dealing with this again. Oh, they still, for some people, it's your issues are just a conversation piece for them. So I truly advise just meditating, praying on it, letting God work, writing about it, and, just be careful who you share your innermost feelings and hurts and, losses. I don't really consider them losses, because we all learn. Some of us, it's taken me to, take a course of life several times before I finally got it. And it's okay as long as you get it, but be careful who you share your, innermost secrets or concerns with, because not everyone has your best interests at heart. And it doesn't matter whether they're, a best friend, a family member, and so on. They don't, and sometimes they don't mean any harm. They don't even realize that they're sharing something that you've shared with them in confidence, and they're going to person B, and then person B will talk to person C, and before you know it, you are getting your business back to you that wasn't even the way you put it out there, and it can just cause more hurt and pain for you. And you can avoid some of that by just keeping it close to your heart and being mindful who you share it with. And like I said, what you're sharing, because again, those exes are usually watching. Those that want, may have seen you as a threat, because narcissists, many times they know exactly what they're doing, and many times they don't want to put the work in. You could be that very good mate, you could have been even that soulmate, but they didn't want to put the work in. They wanted to play. They wanted to have multiple partners. They didn't want to put the work in, because every relationship, friendship, it takes work, because we are individuals. We have different personalities. We have mood swings, all of that. And a lot of times they just want to play. Then when they find themselves much older and alone, then they want to come back to Old Faithful. But be mindful of putting your business out there, because those exes that are willing to deal with the toxic relationship or wanting to be there, they're watching and they're trying to figure, oh, well, she put this out there, well, I'm going to do this different. Or he did this. Just be mindful, because those people are out there, and many times, especially the exes or the people that really want to be in that relationship and are willing to deal with the toxic relationship, they will use your hurts and will even mock you, to try, and especially if that narcissist or the previous person you were in the relationship is interested in you and may have come to their senses or may have realized that you are more of a benefit than just a convenience to them. So on that note, you really want to focus on how you express your hurt. And I, highly encourage you either work with a life coach, or if there are some, unresolved traumas from your life that you haven't dealt with, and that is pouring over into your relationships, you definitely want to see a therapist. Find a good therapist or a coach. A coach, can work on the things that you are, the goals you want to achieve. Now, a therapist can go much deeper. They can go back into your past and deal with some of the issues that maybe you've avoided, or some of the issues that have poured into your current friendships or relationships. But most of all, I just want you to realize that you can't change anyone. You have to remember, God is almighty. He can't change us because he gives us free will. And he gives, the people that you were involved in a previous relationship, whether it was a narcissistic, abusive relationship, a toxic relationship, or just wasn't a God-given match. God gives us free will. So everyone has free will. So you can't focus on changing. For example, if it's an alcohol, well, I'm going to encourage them to go to AA. I'm going to, take all the alcohol out of the home. You have to remember, they have to want to make that change. But what you can do, you can change you. You can change your circle. You can write down your boundaries. You can, paste sticky notes throughout your home, in your bathroom, on your mirror, on your computer screen, to help remind you, these are the things I want in my life. These are the things I don't want in my life. And what do I need to achieve this? How can I overcome some of my shortcomings? You can always change you. And believe me, what you put out into the universe, you will attract. But if you are broken and you haven't dealt with your issues, you will continue to attract negative people, toxic people, narcissists, because believe me, they take lots of time to observe and to see how they're going to manipulate or try to use you. And some narcissists, they just get a kick out of breaking people. They like seeing you hurt. They like seeing you off your game. They like seeing you in tears. They like seeing you depressed, or even, contemplating or even attempting suicide. Believe me, many narcissists are filled with many spirits, and they are demonic spirits. I do believe they come with 6 or more, and you have to be mindful of that. And you have to be make sure your energy is right. Make sure your environment is cleansed of negative and demonic spirits. And you don't want to attract that. And the way you don't attract that is you make sure you are balanced spiritually, mindfully, balance in the form of your thoughts. Counteract those negative thoughts. Promote the positive thoughts. Affirmations, we're hearing more and more about that in recent years. But affirmations are simply your thoughts. Don't focus on those negative thoughts and keep recycling or keep replaying the movie of the negative relationship you've had. Focus on what brings you joy. What is your God-given purpose? How you can empower others. And if you need more help, or seek, professional help. And there's nothing wrong with focusing on your mental health and protecting your emotional boundaries. And on that note, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. I would love for you to share this with anyone that you think would receive a benefit from hearing the message. And I truly encourage you to comment. And I do love questions. That helps me to address different questions people may have. You don't know how you can be a blessing to others by being brave enough to post a question. That can help someone else. Believe me, as they say, there's no such thing as a stupid question. There are other people that have those questions, but they may not be bold enough to write them. And that is what I'm here for. God has blessed me with the talent and the desire to want to help others, and that is to help them on their life journey. And everything we do involves relationships, and that is either romantically, that is parental, that is even as a child or an aunt, a grandmother, that is work relationships. So I do focus on working with people that have dealt with cancer and all the concerns and issues that surround that. I focus on working with people that are transitioning into retirement, or have, entered the senior world and may have issues with dealing with technology and how it's ever changing. But that's not just seniors. However, that is a niche that I do work with. I'm not opposed to working with, you don't have to be a senior for that, but I do empower those, that are dealing with maybe newly divorced, newly widowed, newly on their own. They, may have lost a spouse, may have recently divorced, and now they're having to, before their spouse may have taken care of those bills for them. The spouse may have made the budget, and they just have no idea. And sometimes that can be overwhelming. And those are the type of people that I work with. And of course, those that are domestic violence survivors and narcissistic abuse survivors. So you can find more information about that on my website. It's beyondtrauma.support. And it's still a work in progress as it has just begun. So please bear with me, but I do welcome questions. And the website will be updated on a weekly basis, but I do thank you in advance for your patience as we do get things up and running. But by the end of summer, things should be quite in place. But again, just be patient. It is a work in progress. And also, if you're interested in individual coaching or even group coaching, please email at LifeCoach702 at live.com. That's LifeCoach 702 at live.com. Again, that is for one-on-one or group coachings. And again, visit the website for more ways to support and to learn. And that again is beyondtrauma.support. Again, I'm Ronnie. I'm the Healthy Life Coach 702. I look forward to all your comments. And this is a place to focus on positivity. It may come from a negative message or a negative experience. But no, there is a lesson before the blessing. God allows us to go through certain things, but remember, your testimony can be a playbook for survival. It can be, a survival kit for the next person. So I do encourage you to comment. I will, if you're on YouTube, I will leave more information in the comments section, and you can check more information in the bio. Again, thank you so much. Have a happy rest of your Sunday. It is Sunday afternoon here on the West Coast, and much love to all. And remember, be a blessing to others. Bye for now.